Let's continue with the third stanza of the poem On the Move by Tom Gunn. Now, we've already discussed the first two stanzas, and you already have an idea by now that we are talking about the black jacketed bikers and how Tom Gunn is comparing them to various creatures and what kind of pathetic picture that he's presenting of these tiny looking petty creatures, that is, the bike lovers. Um, Now let's come to third stanza. I'm reading the third stanza. Exact conclusion of their hardiness has no shape yet, but from known whereabouts they ride. Direction where the tires press. They scare a flight of birds across the field. Much that is natural to the will must yield. Men manufacture both machine and soul and use what they imperfectly control to dare a future from the taken routes. Now, again, here, man versus machine. This is, I think, could be the theme of this stanza. In this stanza, in fact, here, Tom Gunn explains how they are disturbing the repercussions of the scientific inventions, these bikers. And he says, there is no tiredness, there is no fatigue to them in their journey. They do not know where they are going. They don't have any kind of a destination. They don't know where they will stop. They will cease, and the swallows have nests, but these motorbikes and motorists do not have shelter. At least, like them, they travel in a way. They travel in ways where their vehicles can go. They travel without purpose, and at the same time, they fear the birds which are flying across the fields. These birds follow their instincts and needs, but these gangs are against it. Their destination is not known to them. Thomas Gunn is referring to the scientific inventions, especially machines, and he's saying that men made machines as well as their personalities, but men are using what they cannot use perfectly and they control it imperfectly. So they also consider their present, leaving the future to the fate. So this is what exactly happens in the third stanza. Now, let's come to the fourth stanza. It's a part solution after all. One is not necessarily discord on earth or damned because half animal. One lacks direct instinct because one wakes. A floating movement that divides that breaks. One joins the movement in a valueless world, choosing it till both hurled and be hurled. One moves his well always toward. Now, the fourth stanza. Here, the state of the bikeman, that is what Tom Gunn talks about here. And he uses the word half animal. He says that they lack the instincts and without any purpose they move on without any destination and target. So if we don't have, what is the difference between human beings and animals? Is that they human beings have a purpose behind them. What they're doing, why they're doing, and their instincts are much better than animals. But here they are akin to animals. They only love present going speed. The violent speed disturbs the flight of birds and the human beings who are with their destination. So, in fact, we can say that they are a kind of proving themselves a kind of an obstacle and a hurdle in the animals, for animals as for birds as well as for other human beings who have set their destinations in life. The speed attracts accidents and a loss, respectively. So here the poet says that no one sleep, as he's saying, one wakes afloat in movement. So a motorbike gang lives in this world without values. There is no need of destination for them, and it is always traveling towards. So there is no destination, and that's why. And someone who doesn't have any destination or doesn't know where the person has to go, then it appears to be a complete worthless journey. Now let's come to the last stanza. A minute holds them who have come to go, the self defined, astride the created will. They burst away. The towns they travel through are home for neither bird nor holiness. For birds and saints complete their purposes. At worst, one is in motion, and at best, reaching no absolute in which to rest. One is always nearer by not keeping still. So, the last stanza, last and the fifth stanza of this poem explains the entire philosophy of mankind, where he is explaining that how these biker men travel and where they would lead to. They sit astride and speed up their vehicles to unknown destiny. They use the half denial mode in this stanza by the gangs. They travel through own towns where there is no nest, birds, and homes of holiness. So it's because the saints and the birds have purposes in life. They travel in that direction, but these speedy motor gangs do not have any purpose. Hence, they are traveling away from them. They say they should be on the move always. They want to enjoy the speed without any intention. They are marred with dust. These do not bother them at all. They are at their worst while they are on the move. They are in continuous motion, thus, they always near to the final rest. And what is the final rest the poet refers to? Death. So he says that a life without purpose, a life without meaning, a life without destination appears to be a life of death, appears to be a life, a meaningless life, which is without values, without a destination, and without any significance. So we can say that lots of hidden and concealed messages is being there reflected through this poem. And of course, Somgan is a poet who provides subtle messages to the readers to be able to understand the poem in a much better way. So this is the way the poem ends. We've completed the entire poem. Thank you so much.